Hey guys, today's video is about something that we feel but don't want to admit it or talk about. Some horror movies make us horny, period. No shame about it. Today I want to share with you some of my favorites and why they made me horny. So let's get right into it. Species, 1995 is one of those movies. And yeah, this horror movie made me horny. Let me explain. We're introduced to Syl, part human, part alien, grown in a lab from some very questionable science and a pinch of cosmic hubris. She escapes. She's beautiful. And she's looking for one thing: a man to mate with. That's it. That's the plot. A team of scientists and mercenaries chasing this seductive alien through Los Angeles while she searches for the perfect human male to reproduce with. It sounds ridiculous, and maybe it is, but that's also what makes it dangerous. Syl is designed to be desirable, not just physically, but primally. She walks into rooms and everyone just loses logic. She's instinct, fertility weaponized, and that's what makes it horror. Because the movie forces you to confront something raw. What if the thing you're attracted to wants to destroy you? Syl doesn't talk much, but you don't need words. It's the tension, the way she looks at people like prey, the way the movie lingers on skin, breath, heartbeat, and then snaps it all with violence. It's erotic right up until it isn't. And that's where it gets smart. Because Species is really about how easily desire overrides reason. How seduction isn't always about love, sometimes it's about power. And the real horror, it's not just that she kills, it's that you might still want her anyway. And you'll hate yourself a little for it. So yeah, this horror movie made me horny. But it also made me think about instinct, about gender, about how attraction can be dangerous. For both sides. Species is messy, slick, weirdly tragic. It's the kind of movie that feels like you're watching your own temptation mutate. And sometimes that's scarier than any monster.
Tranquila.
This movie feels like a dream someone had in 1971, bottled in Technicolor and left to ferment. But underneath all the eyeliner and lace gloves, there's something deeply uncomfortable. It's horror draped in fantasy, a spell you're not sure you want to break. We meet Elaine, a witch. Not just the broomstick kind, but the kind who believes love is a spell and man are just vessels. She wants to be desired, worshipped, but also in control. So she brews potions, reads tarot, and lures men into bed where they fall deeply, helplessly, and fatally in love. And when they crumble under the weight of their own feelings, she buries them, literally. But here's the thing. Elaine isn't evil. She's just honest. Honest about the loneliness, the performative femininity, the deep, impossible hunger to be loved completely. Not for who she is, but for the idea of her. And that's where the love witch really gets onto your skin. Because it's not just about hexes and lipstick. It's about how women are taught to turn themselves into fantasies, and how men are taught to devour those fantasies until there's nothing left. And in the end, everyone's a little bit haunted. Elaine looks at the camera like she knows what you're thinking. And maybe you do want her, but not as much as she wants to be wanted. And that's the tragedy. The horror isn't the blood, it's the ache. The ritual of becoming what someone else desires, and the slow death of your real self underneath it all. So yeah, The Love Witch is seductive, surreal, and absolutely terrifying if you're paying attention. Watch it, but don't blink, because love in this world is just another spell, and the price is always higher than you think.
If anything, they actually thought that
I saw Hellraiser way too young, and I didn't understand half of what I was feeling. It wasn't just the gore. It wasn't even Pinhead. It was Julia, the villain. The cold, sharp beauty who wore shoulder pads like armor and killed for lust. She wasn't like the final girls I was used to. She wasn't scared, she was the danger. And something about that unlocked something in me. There's this scene. Julia standing in the dim light of the attic, blood on her hands, face blank, heels clicking on the wood floor. She's just brought another man home to die. For Frank. Frank, the half-dead, skinless ex-lover hiding upstairs, feeding on flesh to become whole again. Their affair was brutal, physical, pure want without rules. And Julia would do anything to feel that again. It wasn't about love, it was about need. And that's what Hellraiser is, really. A horror story about desire when it gets sharp, when it stops asking. There's the puzzle box, the Cenobites, the hooks, the chains, the promise of pleasures beyond human experience. But those aren't just metaphors. This is horror as kink. The line between pain and ecstasy, devotion and destruction, blurred until it's beautiful, terrifyingly beautiful. It was my first brush with that kind of intimacy, where suffering becomes seduction, where the monster doesn't chase you, you beg it to take you. And watching Julia, hair perfect, knife in hand, lips painted red like warning signs, I didn't know whether to run or worship. So yeah, Hellraiser messed me up a little bit. But it also woke something up. It's not just a gore fest. It's about what happens when you open the wrong door inside yourself and find out you like what's waiting.
I'm hurting.
Let me just say it plainly. Possession, 1981, made me horny, and I hated that it did. Not in the sexy vampire kind of way, not in the campy slasher girl way either. This was different. This was feral, intimate, ugly. And her name was Isabelle Adjani. She doesn't seduce you, she breaks herself open in front of you, and somehow you can't look away. This isn't about attraction in the usual sense. It's about watching someone unravel emotionally, sexually, spiritually, and feeling something stir in you even when it shouldn't. Adjani plays Anna, a woman in the middle of a brutal separation, a woman who is slipping into something not quite human. Not in the werewolf sense, in the psychosexual chaos sense. Her body wants things, her mind wants other things, her soul shattered, possessed, consumed. And then comes that scene. You know the one. The subway miscarriage. Her moans, her shrieks, her contortions. A miscarriage of identity, of sanity, of self. It's horrifying, but it's also the rawest, most primal depiction of female rage, pain, and ecstasy I've ever seen. And yes, I felt something. Aroused, confused, guilty, turned on, and terrified. That's the power of her performance. She doesn't act, she erupts. And it's magnetic, repulsive, erotic in a way that has nothing to do with pleasure and everything to do with surrender. This horror movie made me horny, but not in the way you might think. Cat People, 1982, isn't just about werecats or transformations. It's about desire you don't understand and can't escape. It's about wanting someone so much you're willing to destroy yourself for the feeling. And in the center of that feeling is Nastasha Kinski. She doesn't walk through this movie, she glides, like something sacred or cursed. There's a sadness in her eyes, a kind of haunted innocence that makes you want to protect her and possess her. She plays Irina, a woman trying to understand who or what she is. But the film doesn't rush that answer. It lingers on her skin, her silences, on the unbearable weight of wanting someone, and knowing that if you act on it, you'll become a monster. It's all metaphor, of course, but it's also flesh. Kinski's performance is erotic, yes, but it's fragile, almost mournful. She's not a femme fatale. She's a girl terrified of her own hunger. And when she falls in love, truly, desperately, you realize this movie isn't just about sex. It's about the fear of what sex will do to you. Will it change you? Will it reveal your nature? Will it ruin the only thing that feels pure? There's a scene, just a touch, and you feel every tremble in her body. Not because the film is showing skin, but because it's showing hesitation, longing, the kind of arousal that feels doomed from the start. Cat People isn't horror in the traditional sense. It's a fable, a fever dream. It says, "Love me, but I might kill you. Touch me and I might become something else." And Nastasha Kinski, she's perfect in it. Not because she's sexy, though God she is, but because she makes you feel the weight of that sexuality, the curse of it. This movie made me horny, but also sad, because it reminded me that intimacy isn't always safe. Sometimes it's transformational. Sometimes it's catastrophic. Under the Skin 2013 is cold. It stares at you, judges you, undresses you. Scarlett Johansson plays an alien in a woman's body, driving around Scotland in a van, luring men in with softness, eye contact, curiosity. And they follow. Of course they do, because she's beautiful and they're lonely. But every encounter, every flirtation feels like a trap. The silence, the stillness, how she watches them undress with dead eyes. No seduction, no warmth, just hunger. And when they walk into that black void, stripped down, literally dissolved by their own desire, it's not sexy, it's terrifying. Because this movie isn't about sex, it's about what we project onto beauty. How some people don't see a woman, they see a mirror for their fantasies, and how deadly that can be. Scarlett plays it perfectly. Alien, but not robotic. There's something achingly sad behind her detachment, like she's learning what it means to be seen, to be feared, wanted, touched. And it changes her, slowly, tragically. There's a moment near the end when the alien body begins to peel away and she looks at herself, really looks. It's not about seduction anymore, it's about identity, isolation, the horror of being seen only for your skin, never yourself. This movie made me horny, but it also made me feel ashamed of that. It challenged the part of me that responds to beauty without question. It reminded me that desire is not innocent, especially when it blinds you. Under the Skin lures you in, just like the men. And then it leaves you alone in the dark with the thing that's watching you back.
Come to me.
Worthy mentions include The Lair of the White Worm, Thirst, Bram Stoker's Dracula, and Jennifer's Body. There may be others which I forgot to mention or I've not seen yet. Tell me in the comments. I'll be waiting. Now you know my little secrets. Thanks for watching. I'm out.